travel friend and expert, Eoghan Corry. I think we have a much better line now. Eoghan, how are you?
I do hope it's a much better line. Good morning, Eimear.
So we were saying it's not just the temperatures in Spain increasing, the Dublin airport parking charges have everyone talking.
Yeah, the charges are designed, with special offers, all of that stuff online. And really what happened was that the availability of car parking spaces meant that the lower discounted rates that you could get online all disappeared on us. Very simple reason, Eimear, supply and demand. We have lost 1,500 car parking spaces, which were an independent car park, Quick Park. Some listeners may remember it, near Santry, on the road out from Santry. And that's gone out of the equation. Demand is back to something like 2019 levels, and there aren't enough car parking spaces to go around.
Okay, so it's back to the basics, supply and demand. So there was a huge demand, Eoghan. So people, I know one of the front page tabloid headlines today was "What the Hol," because of the cost of holidays going up. Yet there's still huge demand. People have that pent-up desire to go abroad this year to make sure they get a week in the sun at least.
It's a very interesting pattern, Eimear. I met Willie Walsh purely by chance. He's the formerly Aer Lingus, formerly British Airways, formerly IAG. Now he's the Director General of IATA, which is sort of the umbrella organisation, the FIFA of aviation. I met him by chance going through Heathrow last week. We had a good chat about this. He said that the level of demand has increased way beyond what the airlines expected. Now it's patchy around the world, but Europe is roaring back into action to levels of 2019. Now, the Irish Airlines, Ryanair and Aer Lingus anticipated this. They would have put very high, ambitiously high prices in for July and August especially. Anyone doing searches January and February saw that the prices were quite high during the school holiday period, higher even than 2019. It's quite clear they were saying pent-up demand, we're going to get some of the margin back we lost over the last 2 years. Then came a blip, the very obvious blip of the war, which pushed down the level of inquiries. And you could see the July prices slipping down from that very high level. The August prices still staying high. The way it works, Eimear, is that there's no human deciding this. The bots that the airline internet systems build in say if they survey if there is not enough bookings at a certain price, they reduce the price. Now that war reduced the level of inquiries. The July prices slipped down. The August prices haven't. So we are going to be spending quite a bit more on our airfares. Ryanair released their results for the year up to March. The beginning of this week, Michael O'Leary clearly said in the discussion, the after press conference discussion, that he expects prices to be higher than 2019, an average price. What else is going on though? There's a lot of more interesting stuff going on, or more alarming stuff. Car hire prices are way off the charts. Same thing. They lost a lot of money 2020. The way car hire works, very simple. They buy in January. They make a lot of money for 10 weeks around the summer. They sell off in December. They were stuck with their entire fleet in 2020. And 2021 they managed the supply, and the supply is low for 2022, which means prices for car hire are so high that people are looking at the car hire first, then the flight, then the hotel when looking at a holiday. Prices on the ground also going up. Nobody listening to this programme needs an introduction to what's happening with energy prices, with the cost of everything, and that's what hoteliers, restaurateurs, but it's not as big a deal. It's coming up 10-20%, and prices for hotels, restaurants in Spain and Portugal were never that big an issue in making the decision on the holiday. They tend to be lower than Ireland.
Oh, and I nearly choked when I did a search yesterday in Dublin for car hire rental, just for the crack to see what's going on for 1 week in June. It's extraordinary. It's pushing on $3,000 to hire a car for a week in June, which seems like something else, doesn't it?
It's shocking. A friend of mine coming back for a funeral, obviously short notice, needed to hire a car, was quoted $450 a day. from which would be, €100 a day would be what the max people would pay. You would be paying in low season €30. So this is what's happened, and it's happened right across Europe. Now, obviously, you can still get the price, but there tend not to be the big companies, the ones that show up in the page one of your Google search or have the desk at the airport. They're the guys who have been floating around that don't have as big a fleet, who've been doing things like Uber during the lockdown to keep their themselves on the road. And there are lower prices to be got, but you have to search for them, Eimear. Car hire is the big headline increase.
Yeah, and you always tell me the favourites. So back to the holidays briefly, on the Canary Islands, mainland Spain, they're our most popular holiday destinations. I take it there's no new trends emerging. We're still flocking back to the Canaries in Spain.
Very much. Interestingly enough, on the family side, Greece has made a big play for 2022. Spain very strong on family. Portugal not as strong as normal. And Greece making that big play. But you're right, the big numbers, more than 70%, around 80% of all our holidays go to two countries, Spain and Portugal. Now, the heat wave will affect the Balearics this weekend. It's good. It's inland is where the really high temperatures that you were just talking about. We're about to hit 40 degrees today in the province of Jaén. It was up 38.5 yesterday, and the nights are not going below 20 degrees. Not a big deal. We've had big heat waves. Listeners will remember 2003. 2019 was a big heat wave. 2021, but these were August heat waves. This is May. This is the highest temperature. They've been recording temperatures in Spain since 1500. This is going to be hit the highest temperature in May. It's not a reason not to go, but it's certainly not. It's a reason not to be going out in the sun. And the advice is very basic: hydrate and stay out of the sun. And anyone I know on the dermatological side, don't go near going outdoors in those sort of temperatures. And even if you're going for a short time, cover up.
Okay, Eoghan, thank you very much.
Always a great pleasure, Eimear. Gur míle mágad.
Gur míle mágad, slán go fóil agus tasúlagum go bhfuil gacrad go maith in san scéal taistealar that you are nice and safe agus slán sa bháilte.
Ag dul ar bheabhas agus gur míle mágad.
This morning.